The city of New Britain is moving forward with a major infrastructure project on Allen Street. I'm Glenn Kittle. We'll tell you about the money that they secured to make it happen coming up on Fox 61.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for kicking off your day here with us at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. Halfway through the work week, and the clouds are rolling in. It's feeling pretty muggy out there, but at least we're not getting rain, right, Rachel?
Today is a mostly dry day, that's for sure. And while there could be an isolated shower later on, I'm not overly concerned with that. Today is going to be warm, though, so certainly want to plan accordingly for the warmth that is on the way. If you liked yesterday, today is going to be a bit hotter, and there may even be a bit more in the way of humidity that builds in. Nothing that is oppressive, but enough for you to notice that the humidity is outside later on today. 61 degrees in Hartford right now. The winds are out of the south to southeast around 3 miles per hour. We are warmer than this time yesterday, anywhere from 6 to even 14 degrees warmer. So Danbury certainly feeling that warmth this morning. More cloud coverage, so that is helping, or at least keep those numbers up as we head through the morning now. A couple of showers back off to the west of us. These will largely be a miss, but while we can't rule out an isolated 1 or 2 showers later on, mainly after about 3 or 4 o'clock, most of the day ends up being dry. 59 degrees in Norwich right now. We're sitting at 62 in Danbury, 62 in Bridgeport currently, up around 60 in Windsor Lock. So for the kids that are going to the bus stop, temperatures will be in the mid 60s now. Dressing accordingly, though, for the lower to middle 80s later on. Even some of us getting up despite the cloud cover into the mid to upper 80s for areas inland. So it's a good idea to fill up that water bottle with a couple of extra cubes of ice later on. 85 degrees in Hamden, 86 in Bristol, using sunscreen today despite the cloud coverage. 84 degrees in Norwich and 75 in Groton. Cooler conditions settle in for the back half of our work week. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02 on our roadways, we are following this one crash here, this one incident. This is on Route 15 northbound between exit 50 and 51, which is Whitney Ave, so near the North Haven Hamden line this morning. One lane is blocked off because of it. Otherwise, your drive southbound to Orange is fine at 15 minutes. New Haven to Bridgeport looks okay at 21, although travel speeds along that stretch are down to 57 miles per hour. Bridget.
All right, Rachel, thank you. 6:02 now, and new this morning, a major infrastructure project years in the making is finally moving forward in New Britain. City leaders say they've now secured all the funding needed for the Allen Street project designed to help with flooding. People have been waiting for this for more than a decade now. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle joins us live in New Britain with more on what this project could mean for the people living there and why it took so long to come to fruition, Glenn.
Good morning, Bridget. Yeah, I guess this really means a lot of stability for people here in the neighborhood as this infrastructure project moves into its next phase. It took a long time because the city was struggling to secure some funding to move this project forward. Now they finally have those funds to get this ball rolling finally. Yesterday, the city announced it received an additional $5 million in state bonding support on top of the nearly $8 million in federal, state, and transportation infrastructure funding that had already been approved for the project. City leaders say that the final round of funding was the last major piece needed to fully move on with the project after more than 10 years of delays here. The project will focus on drainage improvements and flood mitigation efforts designed to better protect homes in the Allen Street area from future storm damage. Mayor Sanchez says that one of the biggest priorities was funding a way to fund this project without paying the cost to local taxpayers. Back in November when he was first elected into office, fixing the flooding issues in this part of town was a big campaign promise. Here's what he had to say just under 200 days ago.
Close to 50 homes in that area have had issues for the past 30 years. And when I went door knocking in that neighborhood, many of the individuals showed me their basements. They talked to me about what was going on in their neighborhoods, how it was flooding. There was one particular person, Frank Chase, who showed me all kinds of pictures of what's going on in that neighborhood. And I said to them, look, I'm going to do my hardest to advocate to make change here and to start this project and to get it going.
Leaders also credited Ned Lamont, along with members of the New Britain legislative delegation, for helping secure the funding needed to finally get this project across the finish line. City leaders have yet to announce a construction timeline for Allen Street. We'll continue to bring the latest updates on that as soon as we hear them. Live in New Britain, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Glenn, thank you. And new this morning at Thomaston, police say Waterbury Road finally has reopened to traffic. This happened around 3 yesterday afternoon. There is still repaving that has to be completed, but we're told traffic is getting by. This was closed for nearly a week after a water line broke. Thankfully, no customers lost water during that time. They just had to deal with some lower water pressure and several road closures in the area. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong has launched an investigation into Roblox, accusing the popular gaming platform of failing to adequately protect kids from exploitation and harmful content. The state is now demanding records on user safety, child protections, and company practices, while also spotlighting new Connecticut legislation aimed at limiting addictive social media features for children. Tong says the investigation is part of a broader effort to hold major tech companies accountable and strengthen online protections for kids. We should note he has joined 12 other states in this effort, including red states like Texas and Florida.
6:06 now, developing in Madison this morning. A motorcyclist is dead after a crash with an SUV. It happened last night. Police say it happened at the intersection of Durham Road and Overbrook Road just before 8 p.m. The motorcyclist was pronounced dead at the scene. The road was closed for several hours, but it has since reopened earlier this morning.
Yeah, he was a father, you know. He was a nephew, he was a brother, you know, he was a son. So hopefully we can get the justice that he deserved today.
Calls for justice from friends and family of a man who was shot and killed last week in Hartford. And last night, the community held a vigil to honor the life of Dante Barnes. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi was there and shares how those who knew him best are honoring him.
Yeah, friends, family, and community members, including Mothers United Against Violence, gathered not just to honor the life of 37-year-old Dante Barnes, but to also seek justice and ask anybody with information to come forward.
This should not be a problem for the police to solve. People should come forward.
Family and friends of 37-year-old Dante Barnes were surrounded of prayers and love.
God let his children and the family and friends carry on the legacy so that he would never be forgotten.
The vigil comes a week after police say they responded to a shooting on Cabbage Street in Hartford around 11:20 p.m. Once there, they say Barnes was found unresponsive and with multiple gunshot wounds. And Tuesday evening, family and community members, including Mothers United Against Violence, met with one goal.
1, 2, 3. Justice for Dante!
Carla Smith says she saw Barnes grow up. She says she wants to remember him as a sweet and kind friend, son, and father.
A lot of our youth don't have an opportunity to really be youth.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hurt, and I love his family, and I hurt for them and with them.
Reverend Henry Brown joined the family in hopes of bringing hope and awareness against gun violence.
You know, we can't tell people not to have a gun, but we can denounce the use of a gun. And basically, that's what we tell people. You know, why use a gun if you can settle your dispute peacefully?
Again, the family says they'll continue to fight for justice. And if you have any information about this incident, you're asked to contact Hartford Police. In Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Valerie, thank you. It was a dramatic scene on Candlewood Lake when a boat fire forced 6 people to jump overboard. People who were there described the chaos on the water. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot went back out to the lake on Tuesday, and she spoke to people who say they're still stunned by what they saw.
After Monday's boat fire in Danbury, one man is stressing the importance of boat safety and described what he saw.
There was an explosion that came from the lake right over there, and I look over there and a boat's engine's on fire.
Did you hear the explosion?
Oh yeah, no, everyone heard it. And everyone immediately went to their phones and called 911 because it's an explosion on the lake, and people can get hurt, and fire came up probably 20 seconds later.
Stanton said he and other lake patrol told everyone to get out the water and off the boat.
There was actually an individual who refused to jump off the boat, and the lake patrol was over there telling him to jump off the boat, but he couldn't swim, so that was his concern.
He says every boat is supposed to have enough life jackets for the amount of people on board. So in this case, there should have been 6 jackets since there were 6 people on the boat.
Every boat especially is required to have a fire extinguisher. And for reasons like that, exactly. They're supposed to have a fire extinguisher, supposed to have a whistle, and then a few other things as well.
Danbury fire captain confirmed the 2 people who were taken to the hospital were minors. One suffered a minor burn to the leg and the second was brought to the hospital as a precaution. People at the lake on Tuesday said the incident was terrifying.
What a weird and unfortunate accident to happen. I mean, like, clearly people might need to be safer. I'm not sure. I don't know much about it. But that's really unfortunate that happened. 2 minors got injured, I think that's what you said. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
This incident is still under investigation. In Danbury, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
In New Haven, police say a driver purposely tried to hit a woman with her car Monday night. Officers say Riona Joyner drove the wrong way onto a sidewalk, reversed, and then tried to hit the woman a second time. Investigators say Joyner and the victim have had run-ins in the past. The 19-year-old has been charged with reckless endangerment and criminal attempt to commit assault. She has been released on bond. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is heading to November after a major primary runoff win over longtime U.S. Senator John Cornyn. Paxton beat Cornyn Tuesday in a landslide, ending Cornyn's decades-long Senate career. The win came just days after Paxton picked up an endorsement from President Donald Trump. Cornyn conceded the race on Tuesday night and said that he respects the voters' decision. Paxton will now face Democrat James Talerico in November. This is going to be one of the country's most closely watched Senate races. Well, we've got a lot more ahead for you here coming up this morning. On our Money Matters report, Connecticut's new state budget is now official. We'll tell you why school leaders are calling it a major win for education.
And Massachusetts has become the first state to recognize a union for rideshare drivers. What it could mean for Uber and Lyft workers nationwide.
Well, it's a growing battle in Nevada over a proposed data center. Residents in Boulder City say they are worried about the impact on the environment and quality of life. We'll explain.